I'm going to hand you an insurance company. Today, right now, a license, an office, your first customer, and we're going to try to get rich together. The honest way by selling insurance. I'm telling you upfront, it's going to fail. You'll do everything right and you'll barely make a single rupee. You'll be ready to shut it down. And then you're going to notice one thing sitting quietly in your own bank account that turns this failing company into the most powerful money machine in the country. The exact same machine that made one of the greatest investors alive. The same machine that in India has quietly become the biggest investor in the entire stock market. There's just one catch. In India, a rule stops you from becoming truly rich off of it. And the reason why is the most interesting part of this whole story. So let's start the company. Day one, you're selling insurance. And honestly, it feels amazing. Because here's the beautiful thing about insurance the customer pays you first before you have done anything. 1,000 people walk in, each hand you 10,000 rupees for the year, and just like that, you're sitting on 1 crore rupees. 1 crore in the bank before you have paid out a single claim. You're feeling like a genius. So you do what every smart owner would do. You wait, you collect, the premium keeps rolling in month after month, the bank balance keep climbing up, and then the claims start coming. There's a car crash, a hospital bill, a house fire. One by one, people come to collect what you promised them, and you pay because that is the deal. At the end of year one, you sit down and do the math, and this is the moment your stomach drops. You add every premium you took in, then you subtract every claim you paid out, plus your staff, your office, and your costs. There's a number for exactly this. The insurance world calls it the combined ratio. If it is under 100, you made money on the insurance. If it is over 100, you lost money on it. And you stare at your number and it's sitting right around 100. Maybe a little over, maybe a little under. After a whole year, all those customers, all that risk, all that stress, you made almost nothing. Some years you'd actually lose money. And here's the gut punch. This isn't because you're bad at it. Across the real world, a huge number of insurance companies live right here, hovering around break even on the actual insurance. So you lean back and think, this business is a trap. The richest people in the world own insurance companies. How? You're doing everything right and you're getting nowhere. You are about to give up. And that's exactly when you notice the thing that has been sitting in your bank account this whole time and you completely missed it. Go back to the timeline and look at the gap. Your customers paid you at the start of the year, but the claims they trickled in over months. Some came in late, and the big ones like life insurances, long term policies, they won't even get paid for years, sometimes decades. Which means for the entire gap, you have been sitting on a giant pile of money that isn't going anywhere. Think about your company right now. You have got crores in the bank that you don't owe to anyone yet. It's money you will pay out eventually, but not today, not this month, maybe not 10 years. That pile has a name. It's called the float. And here's the move that changes your entire life as a business owner. That float, you don't let it sit there, you invest it. Every rupee of premium, while it is waiting to maybe become a claim someday, you put it to work. You put it in bonds, stocks, property, and earn returns. And those returns you keep. That is the secret. You were never really in the insurance business. The insurance was just a trick for you to get your hands on a mountain of cheap money you could invest. The policy is the costume, the investing is the actual body. A normal investor has to earn or borrow money to invest. You, people line up to hand it to you and thank you for taking it. Now, you might be feeling pretty clever right now. You did not discover it. One man figured this out decades ago, and he used it to become the richest investor who has ever lived. Name the greatest investor of all time. Almost everyone says the same person. Warren Buffett. And here's what almost nobody knows about it. Buffett is not really a stock picker who got lucky. Buffett is an insurance man. His company, Berkshire Hathaway, the engine underneath the whole empire is insurance. He bought insurance companies on purpose again and again. Why would the world's greatest investor be obsessed about boring insurances? You already know the answer the float. Here's the number, remember it. As of early 2026, Berkshire's float was about $177 billion. $177 billion of other people's money that Berkshire gets to invest before it ever has to pay any of it back. That is the rocket fuel. Apple, Coca Cola, American Express, entire railroads. And here's the proof that this machine is bigger than any one man. In 2026, Buffett finally stepped back as a CEO and handed Berkshire over to Greg Abel. The greatest investor alive walked away from the driver's seat. But the machine runs exactly the same way because the machine was never Buffett. It was the float. The man retires, the float does not. Which brings up the obvious question that is in America. Does it actually work here in India? Oh, it works. And the wild part is, you've probably been funding it your entire life without realizing it. You know this company your dad almost certainly has a policy with? LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India. In your head, LIC is boring, safe, the thing that agent uncle sold your family in 90s. Here's the reality. LIC is one of the most powerful investor in the entire country. As of early 2026, LIC is managing over 57 lakh crore rupees. 57 lakh crore, say it slowly. And where did it come from? The float. Decades of small premiums from hundreds of millions of ordinary Indians, exactly like the company you built. Money LIC gets to hold and invest for years before any claims come due. So, what does LIC do with it? Exactly what you did, invest. LIC is the single largest institutional investor in India, the biggest holder of government bonds, one of the biggest owners of Indian stocks. It's so powerful, people call it the government's secret wallet. Market looks shaky during a big government share sale. LIC often steps in. Government needs to borrow. LIC is one of the biggest buyers of its bonds. So, the float machine you discovered as a thought experiment, it is not a thought experiment. It is running right now at national scale, built on your family's premiums. Which means you should be able to do it too. Take your float, invest it like Buffett, become the Indian Warren Buffett. So you try. And that's when someone taps on your shoulder. Remember the catch I promised you at the very start? Here it is. The reason Buffett got so rich is that he was free. He could pour almost entire float into stocks, into whole companies, into massive concentrated bets. He had that total freedom. Now, you running your Indian insurance company do not get that freedom. And that is on purpose. Our regulator is IRDAI, the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. And IRDAI has a hard rule about your float. Because remember, whose money it actually is? It's the policyholders. Their claims need to be there when they need it. So, the rule forces you to play safe. At least half your fund, that is 50%, has to sit in government securities and approved investments. At least a quarter in government bonds, and no more than a quarter in other risky stuffs. You simply cannot take the giant swing for the fence bets Buffett built his fortune on. And honestly, thank God. That float is somebody's pension, somebody's family. You do not want LIC gambling your father's retirement on hot tips. The leash is not a flaw. It is the reason the money is actually there when your family walks in broken, needing it. So, it's the same engine, same float, but a very different leash. So, let's step out of the company and back into your life because this was never just about insurance. Strip the whole thing down, and here's the machine. Get paid first, pay out later. Invest everything in the gap. Once you see that shape, you start seeing it everywhere. Your gym that charges a full year upfront, the app that bills you annually. Any business that takes a deposit, every one of them is running a tiny bit of float. And that is the real reason, the thing I want stuck in your head. The best businesses in the world usually aren't the ones with the flashiest product. They are the ones with the smartest cash flow. The ones that get paid first, pay later, and quietly put the gap to work. Your insurance company did not get rich selling protection. It got rich renting your money while you thanked it for the privilege. So, next time you pay a premium, you'll know exactly what's happening behind the counter. You're not just buying the cover, you're handing over money that someone somewhere is about to invest long before they ever pay you back. The product was never the business, the float was. It always was. If this just changed how you see one everyday thing, that's the whole point of this channel. I take the stuff you deal with every day and show you how money behind it actually works. Stick around, the next video will do the same to something else you thought you understood.